Hi, my name is Simcha Gluck, and I'm the co-founder of FreshBiz. And over the next few minutes, I want to take you on a tour of the FreshBiz training experience. We all know that the workplace is changing, especially these past 6 or 7 years. In some places, you even find 4 different generations working together. Social media and internet technology has just redefined everything. We're now in the new shared economy, and millennials are flooding into the workplace with totally different perspectives on what work should look like. So we need different skills, we need different tools, and we definitely need a different mindset so that our teams and our employees can succeed in this new environment. And therefore, of course, we need new training. Just to give you an understanding of how big the gap is in workplace perceptions, in this infographic called The Great Divide, if you look at HR professionals versus millennials, you see that HR professionals describe millennials as 14% people savvy and 86% tech savvy, while millennials describe themselves as 65% people savvy and 35% tech savvy. In other words, HR professionals see the amount of time that millennials spend on their smartphones and tablets and think that they're very good with technology and not so good with people, while millennials who are born into technology just really are using the technology so that they can reach more people on social. If you talk to HR professionals, they view millennials as 1% loyalty to their employers. But if you talk to millennials, they describe themselves as 82% loyalty to their employers. Why the big divide? And the answer is because HR managers see how often millennials change jobs and positions and think that it's because they're not really loyal. But millennials are changing those jobs and positions because they're just looking to find the right environment that meets their values, goals, and ambitions, and they won't stop until they find it. HR professionals describe millennials as 11% hardworking, while millennials describe themselves as 86% hardworking. And this really just comes down to redefining what does hard work mean. You know, a decade ago it meant that you showed up an hour early and left an hour late. But there's a very big difference nowadays between working hard and working smart. Millennials are very into flexible hours, but what they do during those hours, they're all in. As a matter of fact, they're brand ambassadors thinking about how they can better the company and come up with new ideas almost 24/7 if given the right environment where they can thrive. So it just emphasizes how much training needs to change as well for new criteria for engagement and the skills that are needed. And this really brings us to when we take people through the FreshBiz experience, why we get such good feedback. Because it brings new ways of thinking and creates the right environment to work these new important skills. These past few years, we've trained over 35,000 executives and entrepreneurs and students from some of the best businesses, organizations, and schools. And it's been really rewarding. I want to just take you through what makes FreshBiz so unique so you have an understanding of the process that we take people through. So first off, it's a game-based experience based on our FreshBiz game. And there's been tons of research that show that simulation learning and game-based learning is the most effective way to do anything because it gets under your skin. It creates new muscle memory. It essentially bypasses your automatic behaviors and responses of when we just sort of sit and listen to stuff. And playing the game provides a real reflection on how you think, on how you act and play life. There's a quote, "How you do anything is how you do everything." And the game is a perfect mirror where people can really just come up with their own ideas, insights, and feedback on how they and other players played around them. Because it's really about how to think nowadays and not specifically what to think. So it's way more effective. And the FreshBiz game is also a multi-dimensional business simulation. In other words, it's familiar language and situations. So it's the right context. It's not like a team building exercise where you have to build a human pyramid. Yeah, it's great, it's fun, but you're never going to show up at work and they go, "Quick, we have to build a human pyramid." But you will show up to work and you will have to be very good at negotiating or discovering business opportunities or leveraging resources, managing a budget, handling time, communicating real value, and creating good collaborations and partnerships. You will need to lead. So through the FreshBiz experience, you get to interact on a multi-dimensional level. It's this idea of multidisciplinary, where sort of like Apple combining design with technology to create the most amazing company out there. And it's really about weaving these different areas together. It's also a mind opener. Going through this experience gives you a deep understanding on how we behave in certain situations. So for example, if you're not great at negotiation, you really might find yourself stuck many times during the game. Or if you're not really very good at spotting opportunities, you might find yourself sort of going a little slower than you would have wanted. And it's this idea that zooming out and seeing the whole picture gives us a really rich perspective. And it's a really good mind opener. We also cover really advanced concepts and content. In other words, a lot of it's based on our book. So essentially it goes through what smart businesses look like and what does it actually mean to run a smart business in the new shared economy. We talk about, for example, some of the top companies and how they create innovative experience and awesome work environments and business cultures. What does that look like? And we just really share stories about cutting-edge ideas that allow leaders to redefine industries and lead. And essentially, most importantly, how to implement it into real life and in their own specific work environments. We cover between 10 to 15 major skills, but the 4 major skills I'll cover for this quick tour is the following 4. 1, next level collaboration and teamwork. I don't mean that it's a nice idea. I mean literally how to do it, when to compete, when to collaborate. How do you negotiate your skills? How do you see what your resources are, what other people's resources are, and figure out the best way to empower each other and create what we call a smartnership, a smart partnership, and really create what we call win to the win power thinking as well. The second one is unleashing creativity and innovation. Here's the deal. You can't win the game unless you unleash creativity. For example, in the game, you might see that a card that you have, if you play it, can give you $500,000. But if you really take a few moments to really take a more holistic perspective on what's going on in the game and really unleash some creativity, you could turn that same card into $5 million. And it's a great lesson for companies. It's not about the size of your budget or the team or your resources. It's about how creative you are so you could essentially do more with less. Number 3 is proactive thinking. And in the game, people really explore what it is, not just to wait for other people or to wait for a task or for approval, but to really just be self-generated. You know, we talk about there's 3 levels of mindset. The lowest one is the victimized mindset, where, you know, it's always not their fault, something's always bad happening to them. But when you graduate from that, you get to the level of responsibility. And managers really want to be responsible, leaders want to be responsible, and it's great to be responsible, but responsibility is still the ability to respond. When you graduate beyond that, and the game is a great experience for people to do so, you really learn about proactive thinking, how to make things happen. And that's real power. The 4th thing is leadership and talent development. It's about how to create new leaders, not just through having followers, but how to unlock new leaders and create a culture for independent thinkers. And that's super critical nowadays. Steve Jobs said it best. He said, "I don't hire smart people and tell them what to do. I hire smart people so that they can tell me what to do." And it's really important to unlock a lot of the talent that we already have in our organizations by giving them the right ways to think about it. We're very much training for the game changers. These are the change agents, and we're really effective at it. Now, if you're a regular company or you're a Me Too company, that's great. There's already tons of traditional training companies that you could take advantage of that will definitely do the trick. But if you want to rethink, refine, or redefine your industry, products, services, offerings, we are definitely changing for the game changers. As a matter of fact, how we got to make it to the Game Changers 500 list alongside companies like Google, Whole Foods, Etsy, and Zappos is because specifically we are in alignment with a lot of these new world values. Meeting the mission, impact, focusing on how to have empowered employees, and win, 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 or eco-design. And it's something that we take a lot of pride in. And essentially, when we work with companies, we go way deeper than just a few hours of training. As a matter of fact, Wiley's heard about what we were doing and came to us to write the book that we call The New Entrepreneurs. Within 30 days, Audible licensed it as well. But we basically go very deep into new concepts. And in other words, not just talking about leadership, but really shining the spotlight on what real leaders are doing in this new economy, how they take fresh business approaches, and how they have new best practices based on real creativity and innovation, and how they obviously create the right environment for it in their organizations. It's very powerful. Just to share with you just a few success stories on how one company turned an action card into $1 million. We took an entire chain of hotels through an awesome 3-hour training program, and their HR manager said, wow, right after 50 of our top executives played the game, we started implementing the concepts and ideas, and it generated an additional $1 million in revenues over the last 2 years. So it was really specifically to focus on entrepreneurial thinking, and we did that. Pfizer asked us to really focus on innovation, and after running a team training, they said, our team went through so many workshops and trainings, we really didn't know what new could be presented to us, but the FreshBiz Experience did it big time. We got a fresh new perspective on sales and leadership, learned how to build an innovation-based culture, and most importantly, we got out of our comfort zones. And the game is simply a great experience. Thank you. RCS came to us. They're the largest international distributor of mobile phones, and they wanted us to really bring teamwork and redefine their sales team. And within 3 days of running our training, HR leader said to us, 10 years of lectures about teamwork didn't accomplish what this workshop did for us in less than 3 hours. Highly recommended. So this is just sort of a taste of what it looks like when you give people a real game-based training experience and allow them to go deeper. And last but not least, we created the FreshBiz Kit because we understood and our clients understood that playing the game only once, it's sort of like just going to the gym one time. It's nice, you get a sense of what it looks like, but if you really want to keep working those skills and developing the tools and the mindset, it's very important to be able to give that ability. And that's how we created the FreshBiz Training Kit. It's a perfect plug and play. It was designed for team meetings, for retreats, and literally anybody can use it, from 4 people to 20 or 30 people. And it's really essentially to keep playing with different missions, different achievements. We created a whole bunch of different badges as well. So it's tens of hours of training. It's great. Look, this is just the tip of the iceberg, if you will. And so it's really, if you want to dive into your FreshBiz experience, if you have a couple of questions for us, you could check us out at freshbizgame.com. I'm Simcha Gluck, the co-founder of FreshBiz, and I look forward to meeting you at your upcoming FreshBiz experience. Thanks so much, and here's to changing the way you play life.